Welcome to Profile. I'm your host today, Paula Hersey, and with me is Kalliope Egloff, and you're with the Cape Cod County Extension.
Yes.
So the Barnstable County has a whole lot of departments, but the Cape Cod Cooperative Extension kind of overlaps every department, don't you?
Well, we are a unique department in the sense that we were created in 1916, and we were created by an act of Congress, which is very unusual for county government departments. And so we've been around a long time, and our mission is to respond to the needs of the residents. So we do sort of overlap onto perhaps what other departments might be interested in, but what we do is singular to our department. It's kind of, our department's a little complicated.
Yeah, well, one, the name doesn't really say what you do, Cape Cod Cooperative Extension. Cooperative means that you work with lots of different things, and you're a hazardous materials program manager.
I am.
So, hazardous materials, it's Cape Cod, it's really nice. There can't be any hazardous things here, can there?
Well, everyone has it. Everyone says I don't have it, but everyone has it. The hazardous materials that I deal with and that our department has been dealing with since 1992, we've had a consistent program dealing with management of hazardous materials. Mostly addresses Johnny homeowner and small businesses. So if you have a hobby, an art hobby, like use adhesives and solvents, you make jewelry, you paint, if you use pesticides in your landscape and your lawn and garden, if you have a boat and you use flares or boat gas, you painted your house and used some oil-based paint, you use bug spray, those are all considered, once you no longer need them, those are considered hazardous waste. We also work with people that manage their health care at home and help them manage their needles, because we don't want sharps on the ground in our parks or beaches on Cape Cod. So our department manages sharps with the towns and fire districts. So it's ubiquitous in the sense that everyone pretty much has hazardous materials in their home. It doesn't feel hazardous because you can buy it at the grocery store or your big box store, and they don't have a big skull and crossbones on it and says deal with this appropriately once you no longer want it. But they are in fact hazardous, and you could sort of evaluate it from a perspective do you want to drink it? And if it's not a water-based item like a latex or acrylic paint, which are not hazardous, it says flammable or toxic or corrosive or poison, you think, I don't want to drink this, I don't want my dog or my cat or my pet to drink this, we don't want it in our drinking water, so the county collects it. And then we also work with small businesses, so if a small business, someone that paints homes and they use paint thinner, or someone that changes antifreeze and oil and stuff like that for sort of on the side, a jeweler, etc. We take also that waste, and we don't charge a stop fee, and we also charge county bid pricing. So instead of if you were, say, a jeweler and you had solvents, etc., and you needed to get rid of them, instead of having a company come to your home or your business and you pay $500 for that company to come and then to $20 a gallon to get rid of the stuff, you could bring it to a hazardous materials collection and you would pay about $3 a gallon and no stop fee. So it's very, very inexpensive. Barnstable County really wants to support small businesses to manage their waste in an environmentally appropriate way, and also keep it economically viable, doable. So we try to keep it simple and cheap. Hazardous waste is kind of ubiquitous. Everyone has it, and then the county wants to help you manage it once you're done with it.
So you mentioned one of the key words, because I want you to talk a little bit about the specific program that's your baby there, is Cape Cod has one single water source. We have one single aquifer that all of our water comes from.
And it's unprotected.
Yeah. So, dumping something down a drain here, as little as you think that might have an impact anywhere else, it has an enormous impact on Cape Cod. So talk a little bit about the program that you've initiated that really talks to the resident about our water.
Okay. Well, this program is a legacy program, so there were a couple other people that managed the program before I did, and the person that created the program, she really came from a home economics standpoint, and sort of the sea change of what people have in their home and how they dispose of it started to change at the turn of into the early 1990s. So we've had a hazardous materials program in Barnstable County since the early 1990s. And there's been a couple of people that have been managing it, and they've done a fantastic job. So I've been working this program for 14 years-ish, and so it's not my baby, but I feel very, very close to it. And I've worked for both the people that have managed the program, and now I am taking care of that. So if you pour a gallon of gasoline in your backyard, which is like what people used to do, and I hear all these stories of like, my grandpa used to do that, it really joins the aquifer, which is our unprotected sole source drinking water source from like really Truro to Bourne. Provincetown draws its water from Truro. It joins that gasoline will join the water source in 24 to 36 hours, depending where you live, because we live on a sandbar. Right. And there's no bedrock protecting our aquifer. And 1 gallon of gasoline can contaminate 1 million gallons of drinking water. So that one petite source of a non-point source of pollution, and it's a small amount, it's a petite amount, can really have a big impact. So we've tried to collect all that from people and do it very simply. Barnstable County has a commitment to water quality, and we've had it for a long time, so we're always looking at new ways that we can help collect waste. And one of our newer initiatives was collecting unwanted medications. So a couple of years ago, the gentleman that used to run the program, and he's now our director, he and I wrote a grant, and we got kiosks for all of the police departments on the Cape, most of the police departments, some already had one, where a person could go in and drop off their unwanted medications in the kiosk. It's anonymous and it's free. There's no form or questionnaire, and all of that waste goes off Cape to CMAS, to Cavanta CMAS for a witness burn. So when groups like Silent Spring Institute are testing our waters and they're finding pharmaceuticals and they're finding all these different chemical constituents in it, Barnstable County is doing its best to mitigate that at the homeowner level or the small business level.
Excellent. So obviously water is really important in hazardous waste collection, but the cooperative does so much more. Can you give us a little bit more of the things that, soil testing?
Well, how much time do you have, Paula?
Well, that's, I kind of want people to understand that this one department in the county, and there's many amazing departments at the Barnstable County level, is this one department does a lot of things that you would deal with in everyday life.
Yeah, so soil testing is one of them. Again, our mission is to respond to the needs of the residents, and we've been doing it for 100 years, so we're really good at it. And we do it through education and outreach, not through regulatory means. So what we do is we think like, what do Cape Codders need? So we have a marine program that has a really robust investigatory process on clam, quahog disease, oyster diseases, teaching shellfish farmers the best management practices on how to be an aquaculture, how to grow and operate an aquaculture farm. We do a lot with that. We do stuff with herring and ticks. And we have a Master Gardener program where we do that soil testing that you talked about. If you're a farmer and you have some kind of weird plant disease, you can meet up with our horticulturalist, or they can come out to your farm and they can help you work through that issue so that you can have a nice crop to bring to the farmer's market. We have a food safety and nutrition program, so we teach like a lot of people in the restaurant industry on how to like not touch their phone and then touch your food, which is I'm super grateful for. And we do serve safe in that whole like food safety management. We also, that program area goes into food pantries, and they teach people who utilize the food pantries on how to cook nutritious meals with food that they get at the food pantry. We have a fabulous 4-H program. That's one of our oldest programs. It's really followed us since 1916.
So the 4-H program actually runs under you, not the resources?
Yeah, 4-H, we have 2 county educators who go out in the field, and they really help.
I was a 4-H kid.
me too. And I had a 4-H club for beekeeping. But what they do is they support people like me that want to help kids learn stuff, like whether it's horses or bees or dogs or robotics. They're big in STEM, the science technology component. And then we have a marine educator who has a it's called the Coastal Explorer. It's filled with aquarium. It's this big like RV type thing, and she goes to libraries and schools and she teaches kids about like what is Cape Cod. These are the crabs and the fish, and this is the geology. We have a herring specialist. We have coastal geologists. We're kind of like all over the board, but we're a very close, tight department. We all, you know, sort of interact with each other at and see how we can support and support each other's programs and kind of like, you know, sort of cross-pollinate. So, you know, we're always out there in the field working with the general public, but then we come back and we get together periodically and we talk about what we're all up to, and it's a great department, I have to say. I'm extremely grateful going to work there because the people are really smart and intelligent and respectful. And we've been around for a long time, so people, like, they understand the legacy, and they understand, like, in a way how important the work is. Even if it seems like sort of kind of subtle, the adjustments that we're making, like our coastal geologists will go out and work with the towns to make floodplain mapping so the towns can get like a cheaper insurance rate for their residents. And that seems small at one level, but then when you look at the cost savings that one person can make a difference, like $2 million over the course of, you know, over the course of the floodplain mapping for the Cape. And that's a direct savings to residents. Or like that your kid can go learn how to like do dog training with 4-H. It's kind of unbelievable and awesome. And I love our department. I think it's an amazing resource for residents and visitors to the Cape.
So how can residents and visitors connect with your department?
We have a bunch of different Facebook pages. Like Buy Fresh, Buy Local Cape Cod comes out of our department.
That's right, you guys are Buy Fresh, Buy Local.
Yeah, so
that's a great organization.
Yeah.
I look for that newsletter to see what's in the farmers markets.
That's a fabulous economic driver, and that's part of our mission too. Is sort of like bolstering the local economy through like the aquaculture and farming and that sort of thing. So that has a very robust Facebook page. 4-H does. So does the hazardous waste program, which is called Love Your Local Water. We have a website. It's called CapeCodExtension.org, and you can go and see all the programs and really what we're up to. It's incredibly complicated and in depth, so it's, you know, it's good to kind of know what you're looking for. But then you can also call, and we have an office at the Deeds and Probate, and it's very welcoming. We have tons of brochures and fact sheets, and really letting people know in a welcoming attitude what we can assist them with. So you can really go up to the front desk and talk with Dawn and say, what do you have that I need? And she can really sort of chaperone you through that. And then you can also see all the publications online. And we have a great video that we made for our 100th birthday that's available at the Barnstable County YouTube channel as well.
That's fantastic. So what can residents do here on the Cape to make the Cape last a little longer? Because I believe that your department really, the center, one of the core tenets of the cooperative is sustainability. I just
we
everything
keep Cape Cod, Cape Cod.
You keep Cape Cod, Cape Cod. So what can residents and visitors do? Like, what are like maybe the top 2 or 3 things that people can keep in back of mind or in a daily practice that will help Cape Cod stay Cape Cod?
Allow people to make left-hand turns in August. No. So there's, you know, managing your trash, I think is kind of just like generally important, whether you go to the beach, you're renting a home, figuring out how to take care of your waste, how to really enjoy yourself without destroying what you're enjoying, and being mindful of your surroundings. So if you go to the beach, you don't leave all your stuff behind. You know, there's that. And then really exploring our local economy, going to farmers markets, going to seek out products like local honey and local fresh fish and flowers and our vibrant fishing economy. I think that's really useful. I think that whole local thing really makes a difference when you look at how that unfolds with $1 spent too, like if I bought something from you as opposed to if I went to a chain. And nothing against the chain, but it's really good to have like a nice balance there. So if you're coming to the Cape and you want like fried fish, you can go to a place that is part of Buy Fresh, Buy Local, as opposed to somewhere that buys their fish from, you know, another country or something like that. I think that that's really important. That left-hand turn thing was, I was not joking.
I know.
Kind of just being kind, because people that live on the Cape, I think generally, I mean, I grew up here, and I know that the people that live here are a kind, generous people, and it gets very difficult when it's so crowded and hot to like maintain that kindness of spirit and just like being open and welcoming. So I think everyone can kind of just
chill,
relax a little bit, you know, have a good time and enjoy. But not trashing our environment is good. Not throwing away things that, you know, you wouldn't want to drink, like you know. And really exploring the local economy through like Buy Fresh, Buy Local, or myriad other places. Edible Cape Cod is a great place to check out, that kind of thing.
Fantastic. Well, I learned quite a bit. I didn't realize there was so many different pieces to the cooperative, and obviously I can go up to the website and probably learn about 4 or 5 more things that you guys are kind of have your fingers and on the pulse of Cape Cod. We thank you for your service to the county and obviously to Cape Cod. Just trying to keep this place as special as it always will be.
My pleasure. Thank you, Paula.
Thanks. I'm Paula Hersey, and this is Profile.